My husband mistakenly ran foul of the law of our country. This would have fetched him some years of imprisonment if convicted. However, the investigative official who was in charge of the case was realistic and humane. He observed that my husband was not intentional in his violation of the law and reported the case in a manner that exonerated my husband from being found guilty. After my husband was released from detention, I explained to him the role of the investigative official in ensuring his being declared innocent and consequently being released. I told my husband that as a family, we needed to appreciate the security official for his goodness to our family. My husband refused. He is basically a stubborn and stingy person. From what I know of him, if he were given an option of a fine or going to prison, he would opt for prison rather than part with money. I again pleaded with him to see reason with me and do the needful, but he refused. On my own, I felt obliged to do something on behalf of the family. I called the security official and we booked an appointment on when and where to meet. I got a parcel for him on behalf of the family. When we finally met, he asked me about my husband and I said he would have been here with me but an emergency arose and he traveled. I then offered him the parcel, which I told him was from my husband, but he declined to accept it. He told me that apart from his realistic assessment of my husband's case, the second factor that influenced his judgment was my demeanor. I felt flattered. He said he cherished my conduct and looks. He said he had something in mind while handling my husband's case but couldn't mention it for fear of being labeled exploitative. He asked if he could mention it now that the case was over. I told him that he was free to express whatever. He asked me if we could become friends. I told him that events had already overtaken that he was presently part of our family rather than just an ordinary friend. He said he knew but still would want us to be close friends. He claimed it was what he wanted and that I could afford it without any cost. I told him to give me time to think about it. I felt my husband would have saved me this embarrassment if he had taken the initiative to meet this security official himself. I didn't visit him again. Some months later, one of my brothers was involved in a case that needed the help of a senior security personnel. I was very hesitant about going back to the same security official that I was avoiding. After trying other avenues but didn't succeed, we finally went back to him and as usual, he adequately provided a solution to the situation. He never complained about the way I ran away from him. After some time, he called me and we started regular communications once again. In brief, I later dated him for a short period and stopped. A month after our last date, he called me and told me that we made a mistake. I asked him what kind of mistake and he told me that we were not careful enough in our outings. He claimed to be shocked by what was before him as we spoke and that he never suspected that we were being stalked while we dated. He asked me to check the videos and pictures he just sent to me. When I saw the videos and pictures, I was shocked to my bone marrow. I saw my nude pictures. He said those behind it demanded a certain huge sum of money or they would go public. In my fear and confusion, I immediately transferred the money to him to settle the issue once and for all. 3 months later, he called me and said he was planning to resign his appointment before he would be sacked. He said he would leave the country as soon as he resigned. When I asked him why anyone would sack him, he told me that the new videos and pictures those people released to him, unlike the first ones, implicated him and myself in compromised positions. He said he would readily be sacked if those things went public and the money they were demanding was 10 times what I initially paid. He claimed to have begged for a reduction but they refused. He said if I decided to pay, he would suggest I pay half and he would pay half. At this point, I decided to confide in my senior brother. I told him the totality of the story. He said it was good to appreciate the security official who helped my husband but very wrong to have dated him. My brother told me to ask for the new videos and pictures and inform him that I was sourcing for funds to handle the issue. He immediately sent the wild videos and pictures. Then my brother told me that there was no third party that stalked us. Rather, it was the security official who was just extorting me. My brother asked me to book an appointment with the official and I did. When I and my brother met him, my brother thanked him for the way he had managed the delicate situation and the evidence he got from them. He further told him that he would play the role of a witness because the issue would now be officially reported to the law enforcement agents for thorough investigations. The security official vehemently declined the role of a witness and said the people may not be ready for a court case. Then my brother told him to reach out to the people and tell them that we were ready to escalate the case, but if they didn't want any case, they must quickly return the previous money paid. 2 days later, the official contacted us and said the people had accepted to refund the money and end the issue. He did refund the money and never resurrected the pictures and videos again.